Power up a new Minecraft server for you and your friends with Shockbyte Hosting. We give you the tools you need to launch a fresh multiplayer Minecraft server and fully customize it with mods, plugins, and more through a simple to use control panel. Order your Minecraft server today for as low as $2.50 a month at shockbyte.com.
हेलो गाइस, तो आप लोग कैसे हो? तो आज की वीडियो में हम बनाने वाले इन्फिनिट ऑटोमेटिक कवरस्टोन फार्म। आप अगर इस चैनल पर नए तो प्लीज़ लाइक कर देना, सब्सक्राइब कर देना और बेल नोटिफिकेशन दबाना मत भूलना। तो चलो हम वीडियो को स्टार्ट करते हैं। तो फार्म बनाने के लिए यहाँ पे हमें कुछ ब्लॉक्स लगने वाले 1 लावा बकेट, 1 वाटर बकेट, 1 स्टिकी पिस्टन, 14 रेडस्टोन डस्ट, 8 पिस्टन, 8 रिपीटर, 1 रेडस्टोन टॉर्च, 1 लीवर और हमको एक लगने वाला है रेडस्टोन ब्लॉक। तो सबसे पहले हमें यहाँ पे क्या करना है, एक गड्ढा बनाना है, मतलब एक ब्लॉक डिग करना है। फिर बाद में उसके सामने की तरफ हमको एक वाटर बकेट डालना है, देखो कुछ इस तरीके से। फिर बाद में हमने जो वाटर बकेट डाला था उसके साइड में हमको कुछ ब्लॉक्स लगा लेने। ब्लॉक्स लगाने के बाद हमको क्या करना है, फिर एक ब्लॉक छोड़ के हमको फिर से यहाँ पे एक स्क्वायर बना लेना है, मतलब हाफ स्क्वायर बना लेना है। फिर उसके बीच में हमको एक लावा बकेट डाल देनी है। देखो यहाँ पे कुछ फार्म है ऐसा वर्क करेगा। अब हमें क्या करना है, सामने की तरफ एक स्टिकी पिस्टन लगाना है और ये ब्लॉक हमको तोड़ देना है। फिर हमको क्या करना है, स्टिकी पिस्टन के सामने हमको रेडस्टोन ब्लॉक लगाना है। फिर ब्लॉक लगाने के बाद हम क्या करेंगे, यहाँ पे रेडस्टोन डस्ट का यूज़ करके हमको कुछ इस तरीके से रेडस्टोन डस्ट यहाँ पे लगाना है और उसको लीवर से जोड़ देना है। इतना करने के बाद यहाँ पे हमको पिस्टन की ज़रूरत पड़ने वाली है। तो हमको क्या करना है, पिस्टन लेना है और इनको कुछ इस तरीके से लगाना है। तो यहाँ पे हमको टोटल 8 पिस्टन लगाने हैं, देखो कुछ इस तरीके से। पिस्टन लगाने के बाद हमको क्या करना है, लास्ट वाला पिस्टन करते हैं। तो फार्म बनाने के लिए यहाँ पे हमें कुछ ब्लॉक्स लगने वाले 1 लावा बकेट, 1 वाटर बकेट, 1 स्टिकी पिस्टन, 14 रेडस्टोन डस्ट, 8 पिस्टन, 8 रिपीटर, 1 रेडस्टोन
That's beautiful. Today we are doing something very special. We are unboxing the Uni Karu 16. That means it's gonna be really big. We're about to be making some big pies today. Yeah. Woo! Oh, that's the door, son? Look at that. All the vision I'm about to get. And now the moment that we've all been waiting for. I'm so happy about this. With uni ovens, setup is usually very simple. And of course, get a lot of wood in there. It's about to get real hot. How dope is this, by the way? Infrared thermometer, you already know how hot that's gonna be. All right, look at that. That's beautiful. I've been waiting for Uni Karu 16 for a long time, and it's finally here. It's literally been like 5 minutes, man. It's hot in there. Ooh. We about to be eating good. And there it is, that's the beauty I was waiting for. Uni Karu 16, busted it out. Nice hot temperature, love the cooking surface. I'm sweating because it's hot.
Porofessor is an in-game desktop app. Once the game starts, Porofessor scouts your opponents, learn how well they play their champs, how aggressive they are, and what blind spots you can exploit. Outsmart your opponents with Porofessor. Download the in-game desktop app now.
हेलो गाइस, तो आप लोग कैसे हैं? तो आज की वीडियो में हम बनाने वाले इन्फिनिट ऑटोमेटिक कवरस्टोन फार्म। आप अगर इस चैनल पर नए तो प्लीज़ लाइक कर देना, सब्सक्राइब कर देना और बेल नोटिफिकेशन दबाना मत भूलना। तो चलो हम वीडियो को स्टार्ट करते हैं। तो फार्म बनाने के लिए यहाँ पे हमें कुछ ब्लॉक्स लगने वाले, 1 लावा बकेट, 1 वाटर बकेट, 1 स्टिकी पिस्टन, 14 रेडस्टोन डस्ट, 8 पिस्टन, 8 रिपीटर, 1 रेडस्टोन टॉर्च, 1 लीवर और हमको एक लगने वाला है रेडस्टोन ब्लॉक। तो सबसे पहले हमें यहाँ पे क्या करना है, एक गड्ढा बनाना है, मतलब एक ब्लॉक डिग करना है। फिर बाद में उसके सामने की तरफ हमको एक वाटर बकेट डालना है, देखो कुछ इस तरीके से। फिर बाद में हमने जो वाटर बकेट डाला था उसके साइड में हमको कुछ ब्लॉक्स लगा लेने हैं। फिर ब्लॉक्स लगाने के बाद हमको क्या करना है, फिर एक ब्लॉक छोड़ के हमको फिर से यहाँ पे एक स्क्वायर बना लेना है, मतलब हाफ स्क्वायर बना लेना है। फिर उसके बीच में हमको एक लावा बकेट डाल देनी है। देखो यहाँ पे कुछ फार्म है ऐसा वर्क करेगा। अब हमें क्या करना है, सामने की तरफ एक स्टिकी पिस्टन लगाना है और ये ब्लॉक हमको तोड़ देना है। फिर हमको क्या करना है, स्टिकी पिस्टन के सामने हमको रेडस्टोन ब्लॉक लगाना है। फिर ब्लॉक लगाने के बाद हम क्या करेंगे, यहाँ पे रेडस्टोन डस्ट का यूज़ करके हमको कुछ इस तरीके से रेडस्टोन डस्ट यहाँ पे लगाना है और उसको लीवर से जोड़ देना है। इतना करने के बाद यहाँ पे हमको पिस्टन की ज़रूरत पड़ने वाली है। तो हमको क्या करना है, पिस्टन लेना है और इनको कुछ इस तरीके से लगाना है। तो यहाँ पे हमको टोटल 8 पिस्टन लगाने हैं, देखो कुछ इस तरीके से। पिस्टन लगाने के बाद हमको क्या करना है, लास्ट वाला पिस्टन रहेगा उसमें एक डिग करना है और वहाँ पे हमको रेडस्टोन टॉर्च लगानी है, देखो। फिर पिस्टन के पीछे की तरफ हमें जाना है और यहाँ पे हमको रिपीटर लगाना है। तो अब हमें यहाँ पे क्या करना है, हमको रेस्टोन डस्ट लेना है और हमने जितने भी रिपीटर लगाए उसके पीछे की तरफ हमें रेस्टोन डस्ट लगाने है और साइड में भी यहाँ पे भी हमको रेस्टोन डस्ट लगानी है। आपने अभी तक वीडियो को लाइक नहीं किया तो प्लीज़ लाइक कर देना और आप इस चैनल पे नए तो प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब करना मत भूलना। तो यहाँ पे हमको क्या करना है, एक रेस्टोरेंट 10 लगाना है। और यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं जो हमारा फार्म है वो वर्क करना चालू हो चुका है। और इस फार्म का यूज़ आप 1 ब्लॉक सीरीज़ में कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि वहाँ पे जो हमारे स्टोन वगैरह रहते हैं उनकी बहुत कमी पड़ती है, तो वहाँ पे आप इस फार्म का यूज़ कर सकते हैं। आपको अगर फार्म को ऑन ऑफ करना है तो इस लीवर का आप यूज़ कर सकते हैं। इतना करने के बाद आपको क्या करना है, जहाँ पे हमने अपने रेस्टोरेंट 10 लगाए वहाँ पे आपको कवर कर लेना है। अगर आपके वर्ल्ड में बारिश होती है तो ये रेस्टोरेंट 10 क्या हो जाएगा, बारिश में ख़राब हो सकते हैं। तो इसलिए क्या करना है, आपको रेस्टोरेंट 10 वाला एरिया पूरा कवर कर लेना है। तो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं मैंने पूरे एरिया को जो कवर कर लिया है। तो यहाँ से हमको कितने कवर स्टोन मिलते हैं मैं आपको दिखा दूँ। तो यहाँ पे देखो, आप नीचे की तरफ देख सकते हो, मुझे 1.5 स्टैक यहाँ पे कवर स्टोन मिल चुका है। आप चाहे तो क्या कर सकते हैं, मतलब जो कवर स्टोन निकलता है वह मतलब उसके सामने की तरफ जाकर भी आप तोड़ सकते हैं, पर वो बहुत तेज़ी से काम करता है। अगर आपके पास इफिशियंसी रहेगी तो आप बहुत तेज़ी से काम कर सकते हैं। वीडियो आपको कैसी लगी, अच्छी लगी तो प्लीज़ कमेंट करके बता देना। और इससे पहले मैंने फुल्ली ऑटोमेटिक कवर स्टोन फार्म बनाया है, वो भी वीडियो देख लेना, मैं डिस्क्रिप्शन में लिंक दे दूंगा। तो चलो मिलते हैं हम अगली वीडियो में।
Do you want to launch your own Minecraft server for you and your friends? At shockbite.com, for as little as $2.50 a month, you can order today and be up and running with a new multiplayer server in no time. Install plugins and mods, upload custom worlds, get support from our live chat team, and much more through our server control panel. We also offer dedicated IP addresses and locations around the world to make sure your players have the best connection. Find out more and order your Minecraft server today at shockbite.com.
Holy smokes, this thing is awesome. It is the newest oven from Uni Pizza Ovens, the Uni Karu 16. This is bigger. It's multi-fuel, you can use wood, coal, or throw in a gas adapter and run it off propane. This is the door, holy smokes. Whoa, big glass window, really nice handle. It's heavy duty too. Lots of differences, even though it's an Uni Karu 16, it's really nothing like the Uni Karu, except that it's multi-fuel. This opening here, this is tall. I don't know the specs on it. I love cooking bread in my Uni Pro. It's high enough to accommodate that. So this is kind of like the marriage between the Pro and the Uni Karu. What is this? This has batteries in it. Holy smokes. It's a thermometer. This has a thermometer and it can tell me how hot it is in there without having to open the door. Now that is a cool innovation. I'm pumped. You will be too once you get your hands on the new Uni Karu 16.
Hi everybody, it's me, Waddles, the British version. Today we're going to talk about dripstone. It's a pretty cool looking block and has a couple different uses. In this video, this one right here, we're going to talk about those uses and some farms that you can make with this stuff. This video is going to be a little bit different than the normal ones I make. If you like this video and you'd like to see more like it, leave a like, and if you're new here, subscribe. Without any more delay, let's talk about dripstone. Absolute basics, this is dripstone. Dripstone comes in two forms, a block form and a pointed form. Absolute Mad Lab beginning, I know. Dripstone is pretty interesting stuff. For years, players have been asking for pointy rock blocks, and finally, it's here. Dripstone itself is great for decorating, but it's also great for farms. Because of dripstone, lava is now actually renewable. Now, if you're looking for dripstone, you're going to have to go under the ground. You should be able to find dripstone generating in small patches under the ground. It's not necessarily the most common stuff in the world. It definitely won't be in every single cave that you find, but at the same time, it shouldn't be too hard to get. In 1.18, this stuff gets the whole biome. It's going to get way easier to get. So this is what it's going to look like when you find it generating. I didn't build this or anything. This is literally just what it looked like. And actually, check this out. Like I was saying, it's not too rare. Here's another another patch over here. Now this patch is actually a little bit more significant. It looks a whole lot better. It's on the ceiling, it's on the floor. When it comes to the Y range, if you're looking for this stuff, a lower limit and upper limit, good news. It seems like as long as you're under the ground, you're pretty much good. So this stuff generated at Y17. Up here, this patch is a little bit higher. I'm guessing this is going to be in the 30s. Yup, Y36 right there in the 30s. Here's another cluster that I just found. It's got copper ore on the wall, iron ore down there, amethyst geode in the background, an absolute vibe for sure, and it's at Y49. So yeah, you can find this stuff actually pretty close to the surface. In survival, good news. If you want this, you can literally mine it with anything, even a wooden pickaxe if that's all that you have. Dripstone is very easy to mine. If you can't get a pickaxe for some reason, then you should consider a different game. Okay, just kidding. But you can buy pointed dripstone from the watering trader. Scammer. We don't talk about him. When it comes to tips for locating dripstone, unfortunately, I really don't have any other than just go into the caves and start caving. Light up the caves, do something else, and hopefully, eventually you'll find this stuff. I got lucky in my survival world and actually first found it generating inside of a mine shaft. So yeah, as long as you're under the ground, it seems that pretty much anything is a go. Pointed dripstone is some pretty useful stuff. There are a couple different farms that you can make with this stuff that we're going to talk about in a second, or you could take 4 pointed dripstone, put it in a crafting table, and make the dripstone block. Now, once you've done that, you can't get it back, so make sure you're sure about it. This is the dripstone block. It looks pretty cool, but honestly, it's just decorational. It does have a use in some of the farms, but yeah, it's just a decorational block. Kind of looks cool. Ancient debris gives me like a cinnamon roll vibe. Dripstone gives me like a cinnamon roll that hasn't been cooked up yet vibe. And pointed dripstone goes on the ceiling or the floor. This is a stalactite up here. This is a stalagmite down there. I definitely won't remember that after like 30 seconds, but that's how it is. Oh yeah, and 2 more cool things about dripstone. You can make it as tall as you want from the ceiling or the floor as long as there's room. And you can waterlog it. You can put it under the water too, which makes it great for decoration. Farm that uses pointed dripstone number 1. Word of advice, don't build this farm. It's a waste of time. What this thing farms you is literally all around you in the world. You don't really need a farm for it, but if you want a farm for it, here it is. You need like 4 things for it. A cauldron, some building blocks, pointed dripstone, a water bucket. Unless you're like really clever and you set it up in a way where you just have a water source, then you have the water source good on you, but I'm going to need the water bucket. So you're going to want to start by placing a cauldron on the ground or somewhere. Less than 11 blocks away, directly above it, you need a pointed dripstone. So I could do it way up there, I could do it even higher, I could do it like right there above the cauldron. It doesn't matter as long as it's less than 11 blocks away. The block that the pointed dripstone is hanging on also doesn't matter. It could be actual proper dripstone, it could be calcite, it could be dirt block, it literally doesn't matter. You have a cauldron on the ground, less than 11 blocks away, you have a solid block with pointed dripstone on it, and then on top of that solid block, you're going to have a water source or something waterlogged. So that could be this right here, that could be this right here, doesn't really matter. We'll just go with that. Now, all we do is wait. This pointed dripstone is now dripping, literally dripping into the cauldron. Eventually, after a while, the cauldron will fill up a little bit, and then it'll fill up again, and then it'll fill up one more time. I think there's 3 layers to a cauldron, and eventually, you'll be able to get water. It's pretty exciting. Now, you're going to have to be patient with this process here. According to the Minecraft wiki, this will take on average about a day to work, like in-game, like 19 minutes. So, yeah, maybe not the best way to get water, but a way. The only place that I could really see this thing being useful is in like maybe 1.17 skyblock. You need more water or something. You could farm it like that, which is pretty cool. But other than that, completely pointless. That's how it's done though. Farm that uses pointed dripstone number 2. This is an amazing farm. Don't sleep on it. Definitely build this thing. Just like Pointy Rock, this farm is something that people have been wanting in the game for like so long. Same materials, basically, except this time, trade the water source out for a lava source. So we're going to start the same. We have a cauldron, less than 11 blocks away. We have a solid block. We have pointed dripstone hanging from that block. Now, what we're going to do is go up here and fully block this block in all the way like that. Remove that, and then put lava bucket right there. And then we wait again. Check out the pointed dripstone. This time it's not only dripping, but it's dripping lava. This is so amazing. Cauldron right below it. It could be closer, could be a little bit farther. As long as you're within 11, this cauldron is now going to slowly fill up with lava. This is amazing. One of the best 1.17 things. Lava is renewable. Lava cauldron. It's so amazing. Now, just like that pointless water generator that I showed you a second ago, you're going to have to be patient. You're going to have to wait. This process is a slow process. It could take a Minecraft day or even more. But it's so good. You could actually generate lava. From one lava source comes so many. On its own, this thing is cool and honestly better than nothing. But where this thing truly starts to get good is on larger scales. If you can get like a bunch of lava sources, line them all up, put a bunch of pointed dripstone below those blocks, and then a bunch of cauldrons below there. So you end up with something that kind of looks like this, but maybe even a bigger scale. This is great. You have a whole lava growing operation which is amazing. It's sad, but there's no way to speed this thing up. Even if you build it on a larger scale, it's still going to take just as long. There are no blocks that you can put around it or above it or anything like that that will speed this up. Make sure there are no blocks in between the pointed dripstone and the cauldron. It all needs to be air. Even if you were to put something like string above the cauldron, it's in the way, and it's not going to work anymore. And one more thing to know about the lava farm and the water farm. So the cauldron needs to be within 10 blocks from the pointed dripstone, and the pointed dripstone cannot be more than 11 blocks long. So unfortunately for us, that's going to mean something like this right here. What I'm setting up right now is not going to work for a lava farm. You're going to have to redesign the thing. If this was your aesthetic, I mean, it's an aesthetic. That's all that I can say. But yeah, pointed dripstone hanging that long with cauldron below it, even though the cauldron is below it, it's not going to actually work. That pointed dripstone is way too long for this to work. Another cool thing about these lava cauldrons and water cauldrons, they give off a redstone signal when hooked up to a comparator. An unfortunate fact about this though, worst news all day here, in Minecraft 1.17, 1.17.1, dispenser and cauldrons don't work together. So if I put a dispenser right here hooked up to the cauldron, it's facing it, I put a bucket inside of it, and then pretend I did something different with the redstone, so maybe once the signal is 3, it powers the dispenser, so boom, I just toasted the bucket. That's literally all that it does. The dispenser doesn't know how to take anything out of cauldrons with a bucket. If you didn't believe me, we'll try it again with the water one. If I put a bucket inside of here, power this dispenser, the bucket is literally spit out. That's it. It doesn't work. So what does all that mean? Unfortunately, there is no easy way to fully automate this process. That would be amazing. It would be so cool, and hopefully in the future dispensers get this functionality, because to me it only makes sense. But yeah, right now dispensers and cauldrons, they don't work together. There's no way to automate this. You're just going to have to pay attention, come back and check this thing every once in a while, and harvest your lava or your water, I guess. Your water. Pointed dripstone farm number 3 is the final and by far my favorite pointed dripstone farm that we're taking a look at in this video. This thing is so nice. Don't get me wrong, I like the idea of renewable lava. It's really, really nice to have, but this thing is better. So to build this farm, you're going to need 3 things. You're going to need a water bucket, you're going to need pointed dripstone to get the thing started, and you're going to need 1 dripstone block. These other blocks up here are optional. These could be replaced with like cobblestone or glass or whatever, but the one down here below the water source is definitely a must-have. So this is the start. We have a water source above a dripstone block. Like I just said, all of these blocks around this water source are just holding it in. It doesn't matter what they are. Water source, dripstone block, pointed dripstone, and then land right here not too far away. This dripstone right here, the pointed one, needs to be less than 11 blocks long. I recommend keeping it short just like that. And then we give it time. This dripstone, like all of the other dripstone in this world, most of it is dripping. Humble for sure, doesn't really look like much, but this thing is actually amazing. This is a pointed dripstone farm. The full farm is complete right now. Now for pointed dripstone to grow, we need to meet a couple conditions. Condition number 1, water source 2 blocks above the pointed dripstone. Condition number 2, dripstone block in between the water source and the pointed dripstone. Condition number 3, pointed dripstone isn't too long. Condition number 4, within 11 blocks, we need a solid block. This block right here is definitely solid and within 11. Now down here, if we had pointed dripstone sitting on the ground or even a hole, that's fine, that'll work. But if this were waterlogged, that will not work. We need to have no water down below the ground here. If we did have water down below the ground here, this thing will still work. Pointed dripstone could grow right here, like it could get a little bit longer, but we won't be able to grow anything on the ground. So solid block. If we have the setup set up just like this right here, we have 2 spots that we could actually grow pointed dripstone. On the ceiling right there, or on the ground on the solid block right below. Time. This thing is insanely slow. If you thought that lava cauldron farm was really slow, which by the way, 1 cauldron is fully filled now. If you thought that lava cauldron farm was slow, or the water cauldron one was slow, well, make one of these things. This is really small. Every random game tick, there is a small chance of 0.0113777778. Yeah, I think that's the right amount of 7s. For a stalactite or stalagmite to grow 1 block. This fact is sad but true, but that's going to average out to about 1 single growth step every 5 in-game days. I waited for this to happen in my survival world, and it was painful. It was really rough. It takes a long time, so I highly recommend optimizing this setup, which means leaving a solid block open right there, making sure this block on the ground isn't too far away, and also making sure the pointed dripstone is not sitting like this right here. There's 1 block in between the pointed dripstone. If this happens, I don't think the dripstone will be able to grow anymore. If you're actually trying to farm a lot of dripstone, then I highly recommend going around your world and finding more dripstone blocks and more pieces of pointed dripstone, because this will take a long time. If you need a lot of this stuff fast, well, first off, you're going to be let down. Prepare to be let down, because it's not going to happen fast. Second off, you need more of this stuff, like as big as possible. This right here is 6, 7. Yeah, that's not even going to be very fast. For sure, without any question, the bigger that you make this thing, the better. Even with this thing being very big, it's still going to be slow. Just like with the lava cauldron, the water cauldron, there is no way to speed this process up. All that you could do is meet all of the conditions and wait and be patient. If we were to set up a bigger operation here, we might get a better chance of actually seeing one of these things growing on camera, but it's unlikely. Most likely, this is not going to happen, and it's just going to take a long time. Something like that, though, that's starting to get there. If you can make this thing bigger, that's going to be better, though. So if you're looking to get more pointed dripstone for pointed dripstone things, this is the way to go. That's the farm that you're going to need to build. Then you're just going to need a lot of time. One more cool thing about this, though, check this out. So we have a piston right here. We have pointed dripstone that maybe grew all the way up to there. Power the piston, dripstone breaks, which is good news for us. That means we could actually automate this whole setup if we wanted to. Automation is amazing. If you can automate something, definitely automate it, for sure. And this farm right here is the ideal farm to be automated because it takes so long. Like, imagine standing here and just watching the stuff grow. Yeah, it's like the most boring thing in the world. So automation, for sure. I threw a quick automatic pointed dripstone farm together. I tried to work out all of the problems that I've been having with the farm. This is what I came up with. It's one tile of the farm. For good rates, you're still going to want to build this farm over and over again, make it bigger, because it will run insanely slow. So here's what I have going. I have water source, dripstone block, pointed dripstone hanging right there, then 2 blocks of space, piston, redstone dust on a block, observer right there. The observer is going to basically power the whole farm. Down below to pick everything up. Hopefully, we have a hopper. Now, I haven't run a test run on this quite yet. Hopefully, this is going to work. I think it should. I mean, it ran a couple tests on broken designs, but hopefully this one isn't broken. And to be clear, quick disclaimer, if I'm not quick enough and I can't get the block down and pointed dripstone gets out, it's because I didn't get the block down. Usually this would be fully closed up. But anyways, pointed dripstone eventually grows and gets harvested. And it goes up there. Okay, but one of them went down there. One of them went down there. That's the issue that I've been trying to work out here. I'm not too sure why, but pointed dripstone seems to get thrown all the way up. I don't know if it's because of the glass or what, but pointed dripstone somehow climbs all the way up to the top. Okay, so simple fix, get rid of the glass. Maybe it was a glass elevator that was happening. I'm not too sure. Dripstone, it grows a little bit more. And okay, that's really good. Let's get all of the dripstone out of the chest. We'll put that back and just do it again. Dripstone, good. 2 in there. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. It was the glass. The glass was the problem. I hate glass. Glass caused all of our issues. I think getting rid of the glass fixed the entire thing. So don't build it out of glass, and it works. It seems like it's going to work. So here's the farm. You could definitely make it look a little bit better. And like I said, for good rates, you tile it over and over again. In here, I've given the dripstone a little bit of space because I was having issues with the dripstone being thrown out. Honestly, now that the glass is gone, I might be able to compact that a little bit more. And then down here, a little bit of extra space too. I put a staircase that I just got rid of above the chest, build it all in with solid blocks. If I counted all of the blocks right, you're trying to recreate it. These are all the blocks that I use for this tile right here. I hope I counted everything right. It should be good, but that's basically everything. When I tried to compact the farm down a little bit more, even with solid blocks, so I have something that looks like this, I ended up finding more pointed dripstone on top of the water. So to fix that, I just did that. 2 pointed dripstone to start the thing, then it keeps growing down like that, and it should work every time as long as you have it fully closed in. To wrap everything up today, dripstone, pointed dripstone that you just set up a gigantic farm for, what is it for? Well, like you said earlier, pointed dripstone turns into dripstone block, and right now, nothing else. There are no other recipes for dripstone or pointed dripstone at all. It's literally just the dripstone block. So these 2 things right here, they're pretty nice looking, which means building. When it comes to building with pointed dripstone and dripstone, there are so many opportunities, especially for pointed dripstone because it's so unique looking. There are so many different potentials for this stuff here that this honestly could be its own video. If you like the sounds of that and you'd like to see a video like that, leave a like. Anyways, though, here are a couple different ideas. Pointed dripstone makes amazing teeth. The stuff is sharp and pointy. Yeah, make a face, put the teeth in the mouth. Pointed dripstone, when left small, makes nice rocks too. Definitely pointy looking rocks, but rocks. It looks nice. If you have some type of cave base or any type of cave setup going on, then obviously pointed dripstone on the ground or maybe on the ceiling hanging down to create stalactites and stalagmites. Looks pretty cool. The dripstone block itself might be a little bit tricky to work with, but try putting it on a roof. It could make a nice roof block, or maybe in a path or something. Because of the texture, it might make a pretty nice road. Really, like I said, there are so many different building potentials for pointed dripstone and dripstone. One more use that isn't really for building, maybe a mob farm. So when you fall and land on pointed dripstone, you take damage, more damage than normal. You could definitely set pointed dripstone up at the bottom of a mob farm somehow, and use it to actually automate your mob farm. Drop them onto the pointed dripstone, you wouldn't even have to raise them the normal super high amount, and it'll work. Dripstone, yeah, the stuff is pretty cool. That's going to do it for today's video. Violet Pirate, Dark Panther 7, and Darkner, thank you all so much for the support, and thank you all for watching. If you'd like to see more videos from me, just like this one, leave a like. Subscribe for more if you want to look fresh. Check out the merch down below the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Go hood, bye everybody. It's me, Wattles. Good morning, gamers. It's me, Phoebe Bridgers. Welcome back to Kyoto, also known as Minecraft. I can't waste any time today. Truly, I hate to start this video so anxiously, but we don't have any time to spare. Something gigantic has happened. Massive. Perhaps even the best test snapshot change. It's test snapshot number 4 now. Warnings, I don't need them. It's test snapshot number 4 now. Alright, so, well, I'm stuck on 0. Roll a clip. Okay, actually, never mind. I don't really have time for that kind of stuff today. But a while ago, I said that there should be more calcite. Like maybe a little bit more calcite, like in the mountains, right? Like calcite mountains. Imagine it. You don't have to ruin the geode. The geode survives. The mountain is calcite. It looks good. Yes, here we are. I don't know what I was doing with my FOV, why it's like that, but a brand new world. It looks good. Calcite mountains. This week there has been a gigantic change to one mountain biome, the Stony Peaks biome. The Stony Peaks biome, it generates in, and we have lots of stone. Including, do you see what that is? Do you see what that is? Yes, that's right. This is the best day in history ever. Gamers, we've done it. The calcite mountains are here. In today's video, we're going to break down 1.18 test snapshot number 4. If you like this video, remember to leave a like and subscribe. Doing both of those things will help the channel out huge time and also help yourself out because it should protect you from things like sleep paralysis demons, wendigos, you know, bad things like that. So consider it. So I'm sorry, lately, actually I'm not sorry, I've been very excited about this 1.18 stuff. It's cool. Minecraft is basically turning into Minecraft 2.0. This change, I basically cannot handle it. Calcite inside of the mountains, this is amazing. The calcite chunks, we can actually get more calcite easily. And the geodes that are already amazing looking, we don't actually have to destroy them. This is great. I don't usually lie, and today is one of those days. In the intro, I said we're breaking down 1.18 test snapshot number 4. That is the plan. The 4th experimental snapshot for 1.18 seems to be a little bit smaller than 1.18 snapshot number 3. On screen right now, you can see all of the changes in test snapshot number 4. There are a lot, tons of terrain adjustments here, but yeah, probably not as many as in 1.18 test snapshot 3. Which means if you've been waiting for regular 1.18 snapshots, like not the test ones, that could be good news. If the test snapshots get smaller, things get a little bit more polished up, then it's snapshot time. This week, let's start off with stone, specifically stone shores. As of this week's test snapshot, stone shores will now generate with layers of gravel, diorite, andesite, and granite. This should make the stone shores feel a little bit less blotchy, a little bit more consistent. Now, speaking of blotchy, that's awkward. But I think this is what the changelog the devs are talking about here. We have a strip of andesite in there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. This over here, yeah, it looks pretty normal. I mean, I don't think it's that big of a problem though. But yeah, if we are able to find more stone shores over here, they should be a little bit less blotchy. To be honest, I don't know what's going on there, so we're just going to move on. Not to brag, but I'm an official gamer. I have more than one monitor. Looking at the changelog on my second monitor while I'm looking at the shore on the first monitor, I don't know. I don't see very much about shoreline changes, but I have to say, this is a really nice shoreline. Like, I love how this thing just drops off into the sea, the savanna right there, the plains, the forest, whatever's going on here. I think that's a really solid shoreline. That looks good. The beach over here next to this forest also looks really, really good. That's a pretty normal looking beach. And hey, a floating shipwreck. Oh, wow. Okay, so I don't think this is technically a stone shore. It's another drop off into the ocean, which is cool. But look at this in here, how the water goes into the cave. Oh, that's amazing looking. You would have never seen something like this before. That is so cool. With the glow light in there too. Wow, that's amazing. The only thing that could make that better is that being like a lush cave or something. That's some amazing looking generator. Hey, look at that. Badlands. So this is kind of actually perfect. Let's talk a little bit about biome placement. If I'm being 100% honest, if you saw that video talking about microbiomes that I posted a couple days ago, yeah, I thought biome generation placement in 1.18 Test Snapshot 3 maybe wasn't the best. This week, it's been reverted, changed, adjusted a little. So there are a couple big changes that have happened this week. First off, the Badlands and the deserts. The Badlands and deserts are now less likely to show up as ugly microbiome splashes. That's exactly how the changelog put it. That's probably the best way to describe it. Those really strange microbiomes that were happening, they should be happening less now. The biome should be a little bit more smooth. Now, this is just one spot in this world, but this feels really, really good. Like, the desert is sizable. Lots of water in the desert, which is kind of cool. That's a little different. Look at this right here. This is really interesting how this is all cut up. We have the jungle over here, the jungle over there, the desert there, which I actually kind of like. I think that's cool. And then the warm ocean in the middle. Like, that's really, really good feeling. This is where we are. This is the world seed, if you're curious. Yeah, this feels really good with the warm ocean next to all these warm biomes. Now, speaking of warm biomes, biomes should generate a little bit more consistently. If you have a warm biome, it should be more likely to generate next to another warm biome. So, like right here, this is perfect. Warm ocean, jungle, very warm, desert, very, very warm, Badlands, pretty warm too. Moving around in here from the small bits that I've seen of Test Snapshot 4, already, I would say that this is the best feeling generation out of all of the 1.18 Test Snapshots so far. Like, look at this thing. That's a consistent and solid mountain. The river in here, it's pretty consistent. Doesn't get cut up too much. It does a little bit right there, but I think that's fine. Gigantic cave generating in there, which is cool. And then, yeah, the river continues all the way through. Gigantic hills on either side. Not too close, which makes it a lot better to travel through. This is like the Grand Canyon right here. like, look at this thing. I've never been to the Grand Canyon, but I feel like this is a canyon, and it does look pretty grand. Like, that feels good. Aside from things like microbiomes, one of the most annoying parts of the 1.18 generation is when you have two giant mountains really close to each other. You have to go all the way up, you climb down to go right back up. When they're spaced out a little bit more like this, it feels a whole lot better. And I mean, I haven't walked around in it in survival until now, but I would imagine that this is a whole lot more enjoyable to travel. Now let's talk about this river, because this river is a really good looking river. There has been a change to how rivers generate in terrain in this snapshot to hopefully make terrain less annoying, like I was just talking about. Here's what I think is another example of this river change that has happened in Test Snapshot 4. So the change. Reduce the likelihood of rivers being cut off and turning into steep, dry river gorges and mountainous terrain. Instead, something different is going to happen.
Fjord. Fjord. Fjord.
Fjord. It sounds like a Swedish word. It looks like a Swedish word, but I think it's English. Swedish or not, fjord. This is a fjord right here. Potentially. It could be. Statistically speaking, I'm like 95% sure that this is a fjord. And that 5% chance that I am wrong, then I never said anything about this. So a fjord. We have the hill on this side that is really steep, the hill over here that is really steep, but a wider river in the middle. So the river like forces its way through here. You could actually travel down this thing on a boat. There's that really cozy island behind us. It all feels so good. Like, this is getting me even more excited for the 1.18 generation. Now this is actually the same river that continues over this way, widens a little bit in here, almost starts to feel like a lake. Another big hill over there, which feels so good. Another giant hill right there. It keeps going through this way, and look at how wide this thing is. Like, this is really, really wide. This is good. Definitely going to need a boat when exploring a little bit more, but that's fine because the river looks amazing. We keep going down this way. Eventually the river is going to turn and then curve over to where we just were, the Grand Canyon in Minecraft. This is amazing. But it gets even better. This is amazing looking, but it could get old eventually. So the devs have built something else into the game to make it not get old. Rivers will either form a fjord or a saddle valley. A saddle valley is basically a lower part of land connecting two mountains. Let's say this terrain generation tried to happen right here, but the river just didn't work out for some reason. Then we could have expect the land to kind of like curve down a little bit, not go all the way down to the river, but like curve and kind of like connect over, if you can imagine that. Aside from calcite mountains, this is probably the biggest change in this week's snapshot, and it's amazing. From the rivers that I've seen, they look like real rivers. Like, this looks like one of those data packs that I showcased a while ago that actually made rivers like deep and real looking. Like, look at how good this thing is. And it goes like really deep in there. The rivers, the mountains, the height variation in general, it feels so much more natural in this snapshot and so much more manageable. Another perfect example, pretty much every river that I find in this mountain area cuts through here and ends up looking amazing. A small island in there that's so cool. It cuts down this way towards the savannah, really steep shores in here, jungle all over the place. That looks good. Next up, I've set myself really far away so I could find a brand new Stony Peaks biome. The Stony Peaks biome that I was just at a second ago, at the very beginning of the video, admittedly wasn't the most impressive Stony Peaks biome. This Stony Peaks biome, it looks a little bit better. Look at this right here. Calcite now generates in the mountains. We can find this stuff generating in the Stony Peaks biome up top in blotches. This is huge. This is one of the changes that I really was hoping would happen in 1.18. Calcite, it gets more common. This stuff needs to be more common because it's such a cool block. Now you don't have to rip up geodes. You can go to the mountains and look at the Stony Peaks right here. Even more calcite over there, even more over there, even more over there. It's like banding through the mountain, which looks really cool. Same with the granite, same with the andesite, same with the diorite. I don't think I even need to say very much more about this change. It is self-explanatory, pure perfection. Calcite inside of the mountains. Look at how cool that looks. Mountain peeking over the forest, the jungle, with calcite. Calcite generating in the mountains. I feel like this one could be divisive. I saw a lot of people saying that this should stay inside of amethyst geodes. So what do you think? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Put it in the comments. Here's another cool view of my favorite 1.18 test snapshot change. The calcite peeking through in the mountains again. It looks so good. In this week's test snapshot, changes are really everywhere. Of course, up in the Stony Peaks with the calcite, the rivers, the fjords, the saddle valleys, they're great. Also under the ground. Near the surface, you should find less granite, diorite, and andesite blobs. This is to make the ground at the surface look a little bit more consistent. Under the ground and in the mountains, you should be able to find more iron across the board. This is also probably a good thing. Looking around in this one specific cave, it definitely looks like I can spot a lot of iron ore on the walls. Now, it's just one cave. Could be a random one-off thing, but yeah. Looks like there's a lot of iron here. Finally, something interesting is happening to the dripstone caves too. As of this snapshot, more copper will actually generate in the dripstone caves. So if you're looking for copper, your best bet is going to be dripstone caves biome or one of those gigantic copper ore veins. But yeah, dripstone caves, look at all this copper. Tons of copper over there on that wall, over here, over there. This stuff is literally everywhere inside of this dripstone cave. There's so much copper here. Finally, this is what the dripstone caves needs. See, compared to the lush caves biome, whoa, look at the geode, that's crazy. But compared to the lush caves biome, yeah, the dripstone caves is just so lacking. This is definitely a step in the right direction. Copper in the dripstone caves, yeah, I could get used to that. If you're curious about this spot though, same seed still, this is the spot. Geode and the biome blend, that's pretty sweet. This week's swamp placement has been tweaked a little bit, and swamp should stay a little bit closer to the shore. I think this is a decent example of that happening over here. I mean, I know this isn't really an ocean, but the swamp is staying pretty close to the land. The swamp in here is actually pretty significant too. We have a little bit of water in there, staying close to the land, obviously, like in the middle of it, going down that way, reaching pretty far that way actually, and then going over this way. Same thing happening over here again. The swamp gets a little bit more watery, but stays pretty close to the land. In the context of the swamp biome and what it is and making it unique, I feel like this change makes sense. Random snowy slopes biome. Oh, this is ironic. Haha, that's weird. Made snowy slopes less dirty again. For real this time is the change, and that's a lot of dirt. That's a lot of dirt. I mean, over here, though, to be fair, over here, this is not very much dirt. That looks pretty good. Wait. This actually isn't even snowy slopes. Never mind. This is the grove. Okay. I still do think that looks a little strange, though. Maybe there shouldn't be as much dirt in the grove either. But the snowy slopes, yup, definitely snowy. Filled with snow. I'm going to have to say that one was my bad. That was my bad. This week, there were also some changes to the temples. Desert temples tend to be partially buried. Jungle temples and desert temples are less in the water. But, just like that, that is pretty much it for 1.18 test snapshot number 4. These are all of the changes right here. And this is such an amazing scene. Look at this mountain behind me with the giant waterfall on it. I'm very excited about this one. I have to explore it more and check out more generation, but genuinely, from what I've seen so far, this feels like the best version of 1.18 generation, and it's like miles ahead of the second best. Like, this generation is solid. I'm really happy with what the devs have done to the coastline in this test snapshot. I think it's really good, and the fjord river thing, that is awesome. That's it for Minecraft 1.18 test snapshot number 4. Noodle Pork, Swoopy Louvers, Medical Boomstick. Thank you all so much for the support. If you enjoyed today's video, remember to leave a like and subscribe. Merch is down below the video, links in the description. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's me. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Hey everybody, it's me Waddles from the future. The Waddles that you're watching right now is Waddles from the past. You see, right after the end of the last episode, I realized something. I completely forgot a couple different things. I guarantee it, somewhere in the last episode, I said I would be putting copper rods on top of the building so a great tragedy doesn't happen and I have to end the whole world. Well, I'm not taking any risks. Copper rods on top of the build first and foremost. In between episodes, when I was doing some stuff with the build, I picked up a piece of pink wool and then unlocked a bunch of recipes, which means that piece of pink wool was literally the first piece of pink wool in the entire series. Like, all 1,000 and something days. Kind of crazy. I also completely forgot the comment of the day. I don't know how it happened. I think it's because I was working on the episode 2 days in a row, and I don't know. I just completely forgot somehow. So the comment of the day. The comment of the day was the following. Day number of asking Waddles what's inside of the orb. No. Nice try. I'm not answering it. And last but not least, I wanted to finish with the top of the build. I thought about it a little bit more. A stained glass window. It has to be a stained glass window. That's the only way to finish off the build. And that catches us up to now. Just like that, that brings us to today. Welcome to Minecraft Guide episode 149, everybody. Full Warm 2.0. It's officially finished. Ever since I said stained glass window, it just made sense. It's a build that literally gets us colorful blocks. Colorful window on the colorful block farm. Yeah, the only option. It's episode 149 now. If everything were normal, that would mean world tour, world download next episode. Bad news. Or good news if you hate tours. Next episode will not be a tour. But don't worry. We will do another tour at some point. You see, we moved to this base in episode 122 or 123, one of those two, which means we've only been here for like 25 episodes, which also means there's really not too much to tour. Jungle base also hasn't changed very much since the last world tour. I have something even better planned. The first step of the better plans for episode 150 has to do with the nether. Today, we're going to do a little bit of work inside of the nether, yeah, we're going to work inside of the nether. Okay, we're going to have to be more careful. Haha, that won't happen again, I promise. Also, I need to consider some new armor soon. Today's episode is definitely not sponsored by Plots Modeler, but Plots, my email is open. Sphere, scientifically proven to be the best shape in the world. Plots is amazing for making spheres in this game. If you're making a sphere, you want it to be perfect. There's a link to it in the description. We're going to make a sphere today. Like you just saw, right now, the nether hub over at this base is literally non-existent. It doesn't exist at all. That's a big problem. Anytime that I go into the nether, it needs to be way safer. To make it safer, we're going to build a nether hub. Now, we've already built a nether hub up on the ceiling, so we have to do something a little bit different. This time, I figured sphere. 23 blocks is big. That's the sphere's diameter. That's going to mean 23 blocks across. Cut out the wall blocks because those don't really count. That's 21. Yeah, that's still big. This is going to cost 1,314 blocks to build. The nether hub really doesn't need to be anything too fancy. Today's episode is also not sponsored by Calculator. It could be, but it isn't. 1,314. That's how many blocks it would take in total to build a sphere that is 23 blocks in diameter. Divided by 64, which is one stack, is going to mean 20 and a half stacks of glass for this build. That's a lot of glass, like a crazy amount. Inside of a chest here, that's 9, that's 9, that's 9. That's 27. Imagining every dark oak log as a stack, that would be 20 stacks. And a half right there. That's 20 and a half stacks. I think I'm going to need that many stacks of sand for this build. Get ready for the best news that you're going to hear all day, though. So check this out. We go over here into the crafting table. 1 block of glass right there. 4 amethyst shards. Not too bad. 2 tinted glass. We just turned 1 piece of glass into 2 pieces of glass. That means way less sand. That means we can basically cut this in half. So take all of these out, take this out, and I end up with this many stacks of sand. If all of my math is right, that's going to be 11 stacks of sand. It's still a lot, but it's way more doable. The big thing that I'm getting at here, if you're working with glass and a lot of glass, then maybe consider tinted glass. Building large-scale glass builds out of tinted glass, if possible, will make your life so much easier. Unfortunately, definitely, tinted glass won't work in every single type of build. Like the full one, for example, we needed glass panes, no tinted glass panes, tinted glass is out. Tinted glass also does this thing, it cuts out light. I don't think that's going to be a problem. We're going to be in the nether hub, and if we're building a gigantic building out of tinted glass, I think that'll be fine. Like, I mean, if I put light on the inside of the nether hub, which I will, that should be fine. Nether's already dark, like I said, but put a light in there, the light stays in. Light on the outside, light stays out. I mean, I don't see a problem with it. I think it'll work. Just like glass, tinted glass is not a spawnable block, and unlike glass, look at this. It's gone. It's here. It's here. If I make any misplaces at all, I could just mine tinted glass with my hand and get it back. It's amazing. I'm a little bit less sure on this one, but to smelt this much glass up, I think we're going to need like a stack and a half maximum of coal. For every stack of glass that we need to smelt up, 8 coal. If I lay it out like this, it gets pretty easy to see. Then we would have 3 extra stacks of sand. By the way, I don't have very much sand right now. I'm poor. You're meant to be pretending 1 dark oak log is a whole stack of sand. If you weren't doing this, this has been insanely confusing. 1 stack of sand, 8 pieces of coal. 1 stack of sand, 8 pieces of coal. Keep that up. Then we end up with 3 stacks of sand extra. 8, 8, 8, 24. 64 coal, 24 more easily. Easy. I can easily achieve that. I can throw all of the sand in the auto smelter that we set up earlier, give it a little bit of time, and it smelts up. It'll take time, but it'll smelt. Based on whatever you're doing with your build, if you need a lot of glass, and if it's possible, consider using tinted glass instead. If you're building with tinted glass instead of normal glass, though, there's one big thing that you're going to need to have set up in your world, and that is an amethyst farm. Amethyst geode, we're back. Look at this thing. This thing is definitely loaded in, or at least I would think it's loaded in. While we were working on full warm, this thing has grown again, or maybe while we were working on the skeleton spawner, finishing it up, it grew again. The amethyst shards are ready, and I have so many extra shards back over at the base. Haven't done the numbers on that one, but I think we're going to have easily enough amethyst shards, like right off the bat. And if I don't, I come back over here with Fortune 3 for a little while and harvest shards like this, and look at that. Already a stack and a half. Like, that is insane. 2 stacks. Literally just like that. I did nothing. I don't deserve this. I literally don't deserve this. This is so easy. It still feels like cheating to get amethyst shards so quickly. It's so simple. The devs did such a good job with amethyst geodes, and they've made my life so easy. So simple. You know what? Now that I think about it, though, we are going to need an absurd amount of amethyst shards. Like an absurd amount for that much glass. This should be interesting. Like, actually, if we go back to our model, one of those means 4 of these. So that's 4, 8, 12, 16, 44. 44 stacks of amethyst shard. That's a lot. That equals out to almost 1 entire double chest full of amethyst shard. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot, but the number doesn't scare me. To be honest, it doesn't scare me at all. I don't know exactly what I have back over at the base, but I would say I have at least 10 stacks of amethyst shard already. I think it's doable. I think this is definitely doable. I'm going to have to AFK at some point today and let this stuff grow. But I think it's definitely doable. Actually, insanely doable. Look at this. 9 stacks of the stuff already. 9 stacks. Over 9 stacks. Over 9 stacks of this stuff already. Not bad. A couple of episodes back, in the Ore God episode, we found something amazing. In this new branch mine that we were setting up for copper, I was mining, hit a ravine, and found this thing right here. It's another geode. And not only is this another geode, but it's a geode that is insanely close to our base and has been growing. I definitely haven't done any type of conversion to this geode quite yet, turned it into a farm. Definitely considering that at some point, but it has been growing. I think I'll be able to get like at least a stack or 2 from this thing right now. Oh, correction. Like 5 stacks. 4.5 stacks for right now. It's insane. So that's how getting amethyst is going to go. Good news, we're already like almost halfway there. This is going to be pretty easy. The other big thing that we need, of course, is sand. That's going to be a little bit trickier. I'm going to have to go a little bit of a ways. This is our base right here. We found a desert on this map. I still haven't linked it up, but I think if I cut straight across this map, go right over there, I could easily mine up a bunch of sand, carry it all back inside of my inventory. I don't need a shulker box or anything. And so, that's exactly what I'm going to do. It's time to go to the desert. See, the other option would be digging up sand in spots like this, but honestly, I think that would just take way more time. I think it'll be easier to just run out to the desert, get all the sand that we need for the nether hub, and then come back, smelt it up, and do things that way. I could be wrong, and I guess I'll find out, but it's really not that far. Like, okay, I guess it's actually kind of far. It's a couple thousand blocks, but I don't think it'll be that bad. And hey, it's the jungle. You know what that means. Brown dye, so we can finish off the sheep farm. Right here. No way, a village. Villagers. This is a really big village. Villagers over here, goes over there, goes all the way this way, and look at how many villagers are here. Like, what are you guys doing? This is crazy. That's really cool, but I don't really have the time for it today. We're gonna keep moving. Very nice, though. We'll come back one day. I found a ruin portal, too. Gold tools. That's a lot of gold tools. I'm only taking the gold block, though. That's all I need. You know, now that I think about it, 23 might be a little overkill. Like, that might be a gigantic nether hub. Now that I think about how many blocks 23 blocks is, like, from side to side. I mean, I'm going to get the 11 stacks of sand no matter what, because we're here. But maybe, maybe I should make this thing a little bit smaller. I guess we'll see. Anyways, green dye and sand time. 11 stacks of sand, and we'll meet back up over at the base.
24, there you go.
Sometimes I have a tendency to overshoot things. I got the glass, that was good. Look at the geode. I've been here, AFKing for a while. Sometimes I go big, like really, really big. 23 blocks is a lot. Like, that's a really big nether hub, especially for single player too. I'm considering shrinking the nether hub a little bit. The lower line is 23 blocks, the upper line is 17. Initially I was thinking 17, but I feel like maybe 17 is a little bit too small for scale. That's another portal right there. Yeah, 17 is a little bit small, but I still think 23 is maybe a little excessive. We have a big nether hub already after all. So I was thinking about maybe cutting it down by like 2 blocks, so 21 instead. 21 is still pretty big, definitely big enough for this nether hub. And if I cut things down to 21 blocks, instead of 1,300 and something blocks, it's only 1,082. 1,082 blocks divided by 64, that's going to mean 16.9 stacks of blocks, so round it up to 17. 17 stacks of glass divided by 2 equals 8.5 stacks. 8.5 stacks of tinted glass times 4, that equals 34 stacks of amethyst shard. I think another hub that is 21 blocks instead of 23 is not only cheaper, but probably better. By cutting the hub down just a couple blocks, it's actually going to save us an insane amount of blocks. Like, I'm going to have extra sand and glass left over, and I'm still going to have way more than enough room to put everything inside of this nether hub that I want to put inside of the hub. Like a portal. And literally just a portal. It's essentially a portal room. When it comes to the materials for this project though, we're doing good. I got way more than enough sand. Amethyst shards, I'm still gonna need a little bit more of these things. Not that big of a deal, but we're also doing pretty good on these. We're almost there. We're almost ready to build the actual nether hub. So the final thing that I need to do to actually build the nether hub is smelt the glass up, of course. So I'm smelting most of the glass up. And then there is one more resource that I'm going to need. So aside from some more amethyst shards, I need deep slate. Deep slate is going into this nether hub for sure. While the glass smelts up, I'm going to stay down here and mine deep slate. Like stacks and stacks of deep slate. I have some in the storage building. I can't remember how many, but I need more. I'll probably keep mining deep slate until this pickaxe breaks. Go back up to the surface. The glass should be pretty good by then. And we can swing it to the nether and actually get this thing built. 4 stacks and a little bit more. That's not bad. We're going to start by converting a bunch of this stuff over to deep slate tiles. Because finally, it's nether hub time. What's going on here? Why are there so many piglins? Like, what? How did you guys all get here? Do you spawn from the portal? Anyways, how could I do it? I still haven't revealed the full big plan for this nether hub over here. This is a side nether hub. The main nether hub is up in the ceiling. This side nether hub is still very, very important. We need this thing to look good. The side nether hub is going to be a gigantic sphere, entirely built out of glass. I think we could start it maybe like, I don't know. I feel like up here, like here or something. Here or something might be pretty good. I'm not exactly sure what the dimensions are going to be. It's going to be 21. I'll figure out all the numbers and details later, but we have a nether hub. We have a gigantic glass sphere. In the middle of it, on the inside, we have the nether portal, and basically that's it. Hopefully the sphere doesn't touch the ocean. It's a pretty long ways away. I don't think it will. Hopefully it doesn't. But then we need a way up and down, like a way to go from the nether hub right here up to the other nether hub in the ceiling. The way up and down is pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple, and I'm super excited about it. And I didn't realize how much land was going to be right here. And yeah, it's a pretty solid land mass. It's a lot of land. We might have to dig out a bunch of land, or I'll just like terraform it some way to make it look better. Really, I'm not too sure what I'm going to do, but gigantic glass sphere of a nether hub connected to the ceiling with a chain. Inside of the chain, ladder, up and down. You know, it's a ladder. Goes up to the other nether hub. It's connected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's how wide the top part of the sphere is. So this is going to be stressful. It's a building above lava. Yeah, like I said, stressful. Not going to be exactly the most fun thing in the world, but hopefully it can stay calm. Like right now, it's really, really good. I haven't heard a single ghast. I like it. I really like it. All that I need to do is build a gigantic glass sphere in the nether, in the Soul Sand Valley, that is floating over a lava ocean. I mean, come on. How hard could it be? So what do I have to say? I definitely had a little bit of inspiration for this nether hub. At some point, somewhere, I don't really remember when it was, to be honest, but somewhere online I saw a picture of a build that was a spear hanging from a chain, and it looked sweet. That's where the inspiration came from, so whoever built that, big shout out. I'm super excited about this idea. I think it's going to end up looking really, really good. I've also come up with an idea, a scheme, how to make this ladder inside of the chain actually work and go up the entire chain and look good and have a view while we're doing it. I just don't know how much of the nether ceiling I'm going to have to remove. I mean, really, to get the point across that this is a chain, we don't have to do like a bunch of segments of the chain, but we have to be able to see like at least a couple loops, I think. On one hand, though, because we are working inside of the nether ceiling, the chain is going to be insanely easy to get in. So I think I'm going to start with the glass dome. The glass spear. Yeah. Building this glass spear from the top down is going to be weird. Anytime I've built a spear in this game, I think I always start at the bottom. At first, I don't think it'll be too bad. If I were to accidentally fall off the spear, I land in the soul sand. After I'm past the soul sand, though, yeah, it's going to be a little bit different. Because I'm waiting for glass to smelt up, though, and because I need more amethyst shards, every once in a while I'm going to have to take a break and come back to the overworld. I'll probably check on the geode. I don't know how much it's going to grow while I'm in the nether. As in, it won't be growing at all while I'm in the nether. And same with the sand. I need the sand to smelt, and I don't have the best auto smelter in the world. So I made some improvements. I really need to get on making a better auto smelter. This part. This part right here. Yeah, that's different. Different for sure. Layer 1, Layer 2, Layer 3 though. No, only 18 more layers to go. Here's a huge life hack for you if you're working in the nether or if you're just having to crouch a lot though. Options, accessibility settings, sneak, toggle. Now, I don't have to hold down shift to crouch. I just press it once and I'm crouched permanently. It's actually kind of amazing, and to me, I feel that it makes things like so much easier. I mean, you definitely have to remember that you are actually crouching. It could be dangerous if you forget to actually re-crouch, but as long as you can remember that you're actually crouching, amazing. Amazing. I mean, wow though. So far, so good. Look at this. We're already actually almost fully closing off this portal. I mean, it's gonna move down eventually, but like, this is good. This is really good. Part of me definitely would like to know where the ghasts are. It feels a little strange being in here without any ghasts at all. But the other part of me says, definitely I don't want you here. I don't want them here, and I don't care where they are. And there it is. And there it is. As soon as I said where are the ghasts, it's there. All right. Great. That'll be fun. Thank you, ghast. Thanks. Thanks for showing up. Back to the overworld, though. More tinted glass. Okay, so I think this is actually where things start to get a little bit more tricky for me. So I'm probably going to have to like build out, like branch out over the lava ocean and stuff like that. Because now for certain parts of this build, I'm building down. And building down is tricky. And I guess I mean building down as in like, instead of that, like building out, like building literally straight down off of other parts of the build. On to the next layer. Next layer is literally touching the ground. We're getting there. We're making really, really solid progress. This is a big development. This means it's time to start digging out of the ground and continue working down. I'm going to have to go back over to the overworld, though, for more tinted glass and more netherrack. I don't really want to waste the soul sand. I mean, who knows? Maybe nether wart farm next. Small progress update. It's going well. I'm at the half point on the build now, I think. Yeah, this is definitely dead center now, and it's going well. I keep hearing ghasts. I haven't seen a single one. I hear them, but it's not a problem. I'm pretty safe in here. I have been thinking about one thing, though, and that's the outside of the build. So I figured that I would try and terraform the land away from the build a little bit. Not too much, but like over here where I'm digging right now, yeah, push the land out a little bit. I guess it'll kind of depend on how the build ends up looking in the end. But I think it's okay if the land gets a little close to this thing. If I were to push the land away a little bit more on this side, I think we'll be good. Like I kind of thought, the lower that I get on the build, the trickier it does get to work on. But at the same time, really, this hasn't been anywhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like the whole time, like practically no armor. No bow at all, nothing like that. If you look at the stats, I shouldn't be doing this. But it's good. It's going good. Now at some point, I'm going to have to lower the nether portal. I think I'm probably going to end up lowering it like 3 or 4 blocks. That'll probably be good so it sits in the middle. Then I'm thinking a floating platform in the center. Build the platform out of non-spawnable blocks or even just half slabs or something like that. And we're perfect. So that's pretty much the plan for this whole build. The rest of it. Now, it's time for me to go ahead and get the rest of the build in. In between this point in time right now where we're talking and the next time you see me, I will have to go over to the amethyst geode as well. I have unfortunately ran all the way out of amethyst shard now. It's not good. It's sad, but it's okay. And so, we're back. The Nether Hub is just about finished now. It's been a journey, a long, stressful journey, but we've done it. This has by far been the most stressful build to build in this entire world. I know you're looking for it. The grand total, the final amount of gas explosions that happened on me on the spear while I was working on it. Well, take a seat. Take a seat. No, really. Zero explosions. 0 shots were even shot at me during this whole thing. This was a great success. Now, I will say that there was one instance that happened when I was digging out land and I actually dropped all the way down to like right in there on the smooth soul sand, the soul soil. It was pretty scary. My heart stopped for a second, but I'm good again. the nether hub, the nether hub, the nether hub. It looks like this. Ignore that. We're gonna fix that now. So I came stocked up, a little bit of light so you can actually see, and then a stone cutter. Inside of the stone cutter, I was thinking, for now, either deep slate tile, slabs, I can't decide, or cobbled deep slate. Or deep slate bricks, or no, not polished deep slate. It's really tricky, but I think cobbled deep slate slabs. I think these things are going to look the best. The portal needs to be moved down now. I think the portal should maybe sit... I feel like this layer down here, this would be good. If we put this platform on this layer, that's going to be that much is above us, this much is below us. I don't really care about the bottom, but above us, yeah, I feel like keeping a lot above us is going to make this area feel really big. But hey, above us, speaking of above us, check this out. I worked on the chain a little bit. You can kind of see it hanging through in this thing from the outside. It looks so cool. I pushed the land away a little bit over here. I think it looks pretty good from this side. I think the best view is probably from over there though. So I actually haven't taken a look at this build from the outside quite yet, and I'm excited. This is the most exciting part of today. The build. Yeah, there's a bastion over there. The build. Definitely that's hanging from the ceiling, and it's a circle, and there's a chain in there. Oh, for sure, definitely. That's it. Okay, I'm actually really happy with this. This turned out like perfectly. The spear shape, definitely a spear. The chain on the top, you can see it a little bit. Maybe I moved the ceiling higher. I'm not too sure. Oh man, I wish I had a strider or like a platform over there so we could see this thing even better. Like, if I could get out there, it would look probably even better. It's a terrible idea, probably, but I'm normalized to being above the ocean now. It's so cool. Okay, yeah, that's a really solid start. That's exactly what I'm going for. That looks really cool, like really cool from here, and you can kind of see the chain too. So a way out of this thing, for now, I'm actually going to leave the land pretty close to it on this backside. I think that's fine. The way in and out will be breaking this glass and going like that. It's not the best. It's definitely not the coolest way to get in and out of this thing, but for now, it's fine. To be honest, I don't know how much we'll actually be leaving this nether hub from this spot anyways. Maybe in the future, we could set something else up. Now, when it comes to this nether hub and what I actually want to have inside of it, I'm thinking pretty bare bones here. We're going to connect this thing up to the main nether hub system, so this is really essentially a glorified portal room, at least for now. We'll probably expand this later on, but for now, that's what it is. If I build the platform inside of this room entirely out of lower half slabs or other non-spawnable blocks, like I could have used glass, then spawns won't happen inside of this thing. So next up, the nether portal. We need to move this thing down. Old nether portal, you've done me so perfectly. Goodbye. Alright, so listen. This is a little awkward for now. It's a little awkward. I'm literally about to fix it, but the portal is back, and it's down here now. To be honest, I'm not too sure how big I need this platform to be inside of the nether hub. Right now, I have something that looks like this. Definitely going to add a little bit of depth to the bottom, making it a little bit thicker. I think that'll look good. But yeah, I think for now, I should be able to fit basically everything that I need inside of this nether hub on this platform entirely. So this spot right here is dead center in the platform. The next thing that I want to get in, I actually can't get in today. Chains, imagine it right here, connecting from this spot all the way up to the top of the spear. On every single spot right there. That's how the platform is suspended here. It's not just magic. No. There's actually science behind it. It's held up with chains, but today you're going to have to imagine the chains. Because you see, it's not that I'm out of iron. It's that I don't have very much iron. The platform itself definitely needs to be spiced up, though. I'm thinking slabs to start in here, and then maybe solid blocks, and kind of turning this thing into a little bit more solid. Yeah, when we're done with it, it looks like this from the bottom. We will literally never see it. So let's talk a little bit about getting in and out of this nether hub. How do we connect up to the rest of the nether system? Well, trapdoor rope ladder. I think that's basically what I'm going to set up. I think this spot right here is going to be perfectly in line with what I have going down right there. We'll do trapdoors opened up and then ladders placed right on top of them. It might end up being a little bit awkward. Does under for sure, definitely. No way around it. But I think it works. It's fine. Connect it all the way up to the top of the nether hub, the chain just like that. And I think we're good. I think that makes sense. And so for the nether hub today, that's going to be basically just about it. Now, before we end things, there are a couple more things that we should talk about with the nether hub. The nether hub essentials. Inside of every single nether hub, whether it's big or small, you should have a couple different things. We'll start off with the insanely obvious. Crafting table, maybe stone cutter too. Great to have. Still straightforward, extra storage. Always good to have too. If you're at a point in the game where you have access to a respawn anchor, amazing inside of a nether hub. You enter the nether hub, set your spawn at the respawn anchor just in case. I mean, you never know. Perfect. Now, I actually just got back from the overworld. I needed a little bit more obsidian to finish off this portal. I looked around at the crying obsidian that I have. Right now, over here at the 10th Empire, a grand total of 4 crying obsidian. We're so close, but so far. Basically no respawn anchor today, but it's fine. We'll get one in here eventually. Also, if you set up a nether hub with entirely spawn-proof blocks, good on you. Don't forget about blocking spawns on top of the nether portal, though. A tall portal, a grand entrance, just like that, for sure. For sure, that's gonna look really good. There are 2 problems, though. that, and that. Alright, so relight that and we're good. Eventually we have chains going all the way up to the ceiling. This platform is held in there just like that. That's going to look really good. One thing that isn't technically having inside of the nether hub, but keeping inside of it, a flint and steel. No matter how safe and secure you're sure your nether hub is, you should always have backup flint and steel. And yeah, for a basic nether hub room, I think that's basically it. I think we're pretty much good. Now, one thing that I haven't shown you is the chain. I did a little bit of work off camera on this thing. So up here at the top of the nether hub, we still have the tinted glass. I'm not too sure if that should be like a different block or something, but then we enter the chain. We have a ladder going down one side, black stained glass panes in here so we can see out, but we still have the depth so it looks like a chain from a ways away. We keep going up. We have trap doors in here. Obviously on this side I have the trap door on the ladder. I kind of need it there. Don't technically need it on the other side though, but to keep things safe I put it there. This is going to go all the way up, like continues straight up all the way to the ceiling of the nether. But it's only episode 149. As soon as I have more iron, I'll come back in and put chains inside of that hub. As soon as I have more crying obsidian, respawn anchor, and as soon as next episode, we'll link the hubs up. Elites, it's time for a subreddit update. Today, this is the update. Hey Waddles, I think I found the best seed in experimental snapshot. And then there's the seeds and some coordinates. Look at this mountain. Yeah, so it's safe to say, I'm excited for 1.18. Like, really excited. I was almost certain that I would be building a cave base because, you know, caves, 1.18, everything like that. But these new mountains are insane. Technically, we're not even really in, like, official snapshots. And these mountains are crazy. Like, look at that right there. Like, what? Like how do you build in the caves under the ground and just miss all of this generation? I don't know what to do. I genuinely don't know what to do. Like, right here, like, I see this thing and I'm like, oh, I build bridges in that big cave right there, right? And then I put, like, buildings in there or something like that, like villager city in there. Like, I guess it's inside of a cave, but at the same time, that's not inside of a cave at all. And it's so hard. It's really hard. I have no clue what I'm going to do. I was certain that I would be building a base inside of the caves in 1.18. But now, with how amazing these mountains are, it has me way more excited for 1.18. And I don't know where to build. I have no clue where to build at all. At the end of the episode, Fooled,